the Cholam, the Nikuda, the Cholam, sounds like a O or an Oy. Cholam Aleph O or Cholam Aleph Oy, depending on the accent. The same is true with the letter Beis. Cholam Beis Bo or Cholam Beis Boy. That is the sound of the Cholam. What is the graphic design of the Cholam? A line and a dot above it. And in truth, you don't always need that line. Anytime there's a word that has a dot on top of it, that is a Cholam. Besides the letter Shin, if it has a dot on the right side, it's a Shin, and a dot on the left side, it's a Sin. But even a Sin, if it has a dot on top, it could be Soy or So. So that is the graphic design of the Cholam, a line, and on top of that, a dot. It's brought down in Likutei Levi Yitzchak that the Nikud of the Cholam and the Malupam, which has the dot on the side of it, in the belly, has an advantage over the other Nikudis, over the other vowels, for the most of the vowels are beneath the letter. And these two vowels, the Malupam and the Cholam, are above the letter. And he goes on to say, quoting from the writings of the Arizal, that this is the Maila, the advantage of Kalev and Yehoshua, the two spies over the other 10 spies, that these two spies stood above. Similarly, these two Nikudos, these two dots, stand above all the other dots in the fact that they are above the letter, in contrast to the other Nikudas that are beneath the letters. What is the meaning of Cholam? The Cholam has a few meanings. The first basic meaning of the word Cholam is strength, chizuk. And we find this in the book of Job. It says over there that Yachlamu B'neihem, letters of Cholam, that the children will become strong. Rashi translates the word Yachlamu to mean strength. So we see here that the word Cholam means strong. Furthermore, in the Holy Temple, the Kohen had a breastplate, and on his breastplate he had 12 stones. And one of the stones was called the Achalima, same letters as Cholam. What is the Achalima? The Achalima is the amethyst. It's a purple stone, and according to ancient Greeks and Romans, it's believed that it was an antidote to drunkenness. However, the Jewish tradition is that the amethyst is a segula that strengthens the heart. The Rabbeinu Bachaya says that this purple stone strengthens the heart. Again, he used the terminology strength. So we see that the concept of the Cholam represents strength. And that is the concept of this dot that was on the bottom of the letter, the chirik. To bring it up all the way to the top, you need strength. You got to carry the letter or the Nikuda from the bottom of the letter to the top of the letter. That demands a lot of inner strength. Another interpretation for the word Cholam is melach, salt, because the same letters as Cholam are the same letters of melach. If you read the word Cholam in reverse, it spells out salt. What is salt? Salt is also strength, because it withstands the changes of time. Salt was used as a preservative, and it never becomes spoiled. It's interesting to note that halachically you're supposed to keep salt on the table, because when God created the world and he separated the waters, the lower waters complained. And they said, we want to be close to God. So God said, you know what? I'll make a deal with you. Number one, there will be a special holiday, Sukkot, or Sukkot, that we will pour the water on the altar. And number two, the waters were crying. It became salty waters. So God said, I will take the salt from the water, and every day on the altar we're going to bring salt. No sacrifice is permitted to be brought on the altar without salt. And therefore there's a bris melach, a covenant of salt. And because of this we put the salt on the table because it protects us from evil angels or negative powers. In other words, a table is a place where you're supposed to eat and make blessings or study Torah upon. But if the table is not being used, it's a bad thing. But as long as there's salt on the table, the salt represents this anti-negative force, the antioxidant that does not allow the evil powers to come into one's home. So melach is strength. Furthermore, the word, or the Nikud, Cholam, represents the concept to forgive. The same letters as Cholam is Mochal. Mochal means to forgive. The sacrifices that were brought on the altar with salt were brought for the purpose to forgive man for sin. If a person committed a crime, he committed a sin, he brought a korban, a sacrifice on the altar. So we see that this concept of the korban, the sacrifice, which has the power to forgive, also comes with salt. The salt elevates the sacrifice. And therefore we say that a person that personifies strength has the perpetual power to forgive. Many people think if I forgive you, that means I'm weak, I'm giving in to you. On the contrary, God forgives us every day, 3 times a day. Every time we recite the Amidah, we say, Salach lanu avinu, kichatanu. God forgive us, God forgives us. A human being will only forgive you once or twice, and after that, forget about it. But God, every day, 3 times a day, we ask God for forgiveness, and He forgives us. And this is not only once and twice and 3 times, but every single day we ask for forgiveness. 365 times a year. So God is truly merciful, and that's God's strength, not God's weakness. So if someone asks you for forgiveness, if you have true inner strength, then you have the power to forgive. This is the meaning of the Cholam. What is the sephira of Cholam? What is the attribute of the Cholam? The attribute of the Cholam is Tiferes. Tiferes means beauty or splendor. As it says in the book of Proverbs, Ateres Tiferes, the crown of splendor. So we see here that Tiferes, the quality or the attribute of mercy or beauty, they're both the same. Tiferes also represents mercy, is actually the crown. In other words, it is the dot that stands above the letters. That is the sephira. That is the sephira of Tiferes. However, to bring the dot from the bottom, the chirik, all the way up to the top, we said earlier, that demands strength, as we'll soon see. The Gematria of the Cholam, as we explained, that every Nikud has a Gematria. So the Gematria of Cholam is 16, because the Cholam has a line and has a dot on top of the line. The line is like the letter Vav, which is 6, and the dot is like the letter Yud, which is 10. So it's 16. What is 16? So perhaps we can say 16 represents the famous prayer that we say every day in davening, pertaining to the ketores, the incense that was brought on the altar. It says, V'charkoim. There's a certain incense called charkoim, and you had to bring 16 mana of this charkoim. What is charkoim? Says the Zohar that the charkoim represents the power of Netzach. Kabbalah says that charkoim represents the power of victory, strength. Netzach is connected with victory. Because you have to have strength to be victorious. So the number 16, which connects with charkoim, is the Sfira of Netzach, which is victory. And that is the concept of an inner strength. Another way to get to this number, by the way, of Cholam, or Cholam, is you take the three letters, the Ches, and the Lamed and the Mem. You add up the word together. What do you have? How much is that? Ches is 8, Lamed is 30, Mem is 40, 78. Then the word itself is also one in Kabbalah. It's called the koilel. To bring the three letters together, that they become one word, also demands an additional number. So you have 78 plus 1 is 79. 7 plus 9 equals 16. So we see again that the Cholam is 16. Now there's another interesting approach from the Tikkunei Zohar. And he says that actually the word Cholam equals 49. How does he do it? He says like this. As you said earlier, you take the Ches, the Lamed, and the Mem. The Ches is 8. And the Lamed is 30. You drop the 0, is 3. The Mem is 4, which is 40, but again you dropped the 0. It's called the lower Gematria, Mispar Katan. And now you have 15. 8 plus 3 plus 4 is 15. Now, after that, you add the 3 Nikudis on Cholam. How do you spell Cholam? It has a dot on top, Choy. Then you have a Tzedei on bottom, 2 dots on the bottom. We said the dots are 10. So now you have 10, 20, 30. So now how much do you have? 45. Then you have 3 letters. The letter's also 1. How much do you have now? 48. And plus the 1 that unites the whole word is 49. That is what the Tikkunei Zohar says. From here we see the word Cholam equals 49. What's 49? 49 are the 49 letters of the Shema and Baruch Shem. If you count up Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, Baruch Shem Kvod Malchus Elolam Vad, you take these 2 sentences together that every child knows, you have 49 letters. 49, we know, represents the 49 ladders or the 49 steps that the Jewish people went out of Egypt, and they climbed above, they climbed up, like the Cholam, to go up. They were in the lowest level of impurity, and now they climbed up 49 levels to reach Sinai, to receive the Torah on Sinai. And on Sinai, on the 50th day, God gave us the Torah. That's the Cholam. To go from the lowest levels to the highest levels. A Jew can find himself in the lowest abyss, in the lowest levels of impurity. Yet in a very short time, in 49 days, he can go from the lowest level to the highest level, to become the crown of all the letters, the crown of all the Nikudis, above all the letters. Eishes Chayil Ateres Baila. As we say, a woman of valor is the crown of her husband. In a very short time, in 49 days, a Jew can transform his entire life. And that's the Shema Yisrael. What's the Shema Yisrael? When a Jew says Shema Yisrael, he covers his eyes, and he says the word Shema. What does the word Shema mean? Su'u morim einechem. It's an acronym. Look with your eyes above. Lift up your eyes and look. And just like there's no end to the sky, there's no end to God. You can go higher and still higher and still higher. And that's the Cholam. It's not only on top of the letters, but it goes up and higher and higher and higher. And that's the Teferes. The Teferes has no end. It goes from the highest levels to the lowest levels, and there's no contradiction. It has the ability to pick someone up who's in the lowest of levels and raise that person to the highest of all levels. That's the Tferes. That is the attribute of beauty. And that is the Cholam. Pertaining to dreams, we find that the word Chaloim, dream, are the same letters as Cholam. Because what is a dream? A dream is also strength. When a person dreams and he fulfills his dreams, he's able to accomplish great things. And in Kabbalah it says that the dreams come from the world of Igulim, from circles, rather than lines, implying it's an all-encompassing light. It's beyond time and space. So, pertaining to dreams, which are the same letters as the Cholam, we read in the Torah the famous story of the butler and the baker. Both of these people, the butler and the baker, had a dream. And they came before Joseph in prison. And they told Joseph, we had a dream, but we don't know what it means. So Joseph said, tell me your dreams, perhaps I could help you. So the butler says, I saw a vineyard or a vine of grapes, and on this vine there were 3 tendrils, like 3 branches, and I took the grapes from this vineyard and I began to squeeze it into the cup of Pharaoh. What does it mean? So Joseph said it means very simple. In 3 days from now, Pharaoh will have a birthday party. He will take you out of prison, and once again you will be his butler. You will serve him wine. The baker hears the response. He gets all excited. So he goes to Joseph. You know, Joseph, I also had a dream. Very similar to the butler's dream. Really, what was your dream? Well, in my dream, I also saw the number 3. I saw 3 wicker baskets. And they were on top of my head. And on the top of the wicker baskets were birds, and they were eating from the breads and the delicious cakes that I made in these baskets. What does that mean? Says Joseph, it's not so good news. It means in 3 days from now, Pharaoh's going to have his birthday party. He's going to take you out of prison. He's going to hang you. And birds will be eaten from your head. My grandfather, Rabbi Jacob J. Hechter, blessed memory, once asked, what is the difference between the dream of the butler and the dream of the baker? How come the dream of the butler is a dream of life, but yet the dream of a baker is the dream of death? And my grandfather says it's very simple. If you read the dreams, you will see that in the dream of the butler, there is action. He takes the grapes from the vine and he squeezes the grapes into the cup. He's doing something. A dream of action is a dream of success. It's a dream of life. But in the dream of the baker, there is no action. He's passive. There are wicker baskets on his head, but he's doing nothing. We all dream. And dream comes from a very powerful world. From a dream we have strength. We have the power to change lives. We have power to change the entire universe. It's a very positive thing to dream. We should dream. The more we dream, the better it is. We should have big goals and big dreams. However, if we want the dream to be a reality, we have to bring the dream into action. And so my grandfather tells another story. There's a famous rabbi in Israel, the Panovich Rav. He built many schools and synagogues. He raised a lot of money for these wonderful institutions. And one of his colleagues said to him, Rabbi, tell me, what's the secret to your success? He says, the secret to my success is very simple. I had big dreams. He says, yeah, we all have big dreams. But how come you were successful and we weren't? He said, when I dreamt my eyes were opened. We have to dream, and we have to put action into our dreams, but we have to make sure when we dream with our eyes opened, to bring the dream into a reality. And this is the power of the Cholam. The Cholam gives us the ability to dream. It gives us the ability to accomplish and to acquire greater heights. And it gives us the inner strength to be able to overcome all these obstacles that may come our way. And therefore, it will give us the mazel and the bracha of salt that will persevere and overcome all of these negative influences. And with the Cholam, we will truly rise to the highest level, a level when we say that Eishes Chayil Ateres Baila. When Mashiach will come very soon, then we will see the great quality of the feminine mystique, how the woman of valor will truly become the crown of her husband.